Alright, you guys. If anybody comes back on, I appreciate you. My Wi-Fi was still turned on. So, we'll see if we can stay on this time and see if anybody comes back on before I show the tray. Somebody came on. Thank you very much. This live video has ended. Let's see who's on here. I'm not seeing Preston and Preston. Okay, part 2. Let's see who's on. Joyce Hall. Hey, Joyce Hall. Started out and then froze up, and now I'm back, and it shows 3 people on, but it's not showing me who else is on. How are you doing, Joyce? Did y'all have a good time yesterday with your sister and your brother? Let's see. I can't see anybody else. Nope. Can't really tell who's on. Okay. So now, let me wipe this brush off a little bit more. Y'all, I like these long handled brushes. I think it makes it easier to control them. Let me think here for a minute. I think I want to go on and do my red and brown. Here's the paper. And I believe I'm probably going to go around this with water and tear it out, because try to put it in here. I'm not going to get all of that on the side. Alright, thank y'all. When it tries to reconnect, just hang in there with me. Okay, let's see. Let's go on and do the red and brown. Where can you hand me those paints, please? So I got 2 colors kind of mixed together. I got Deco Art Americana Burnt Umber and Deco Americana Cranberry Wine, because I think the Burnt Umber by itself might be just a little bit too brown, but I think the Cranberry Wine mixed with it might be perfect. And what I'm going to do is just, dip my brush in one color and then dip my brush in the other color, and I'm just going to let them mix on the board, or on my paper plate I have up here, instead of mixing them together, and that way it may give more of a look of definition or with depth than it does just one solid color. So, and if we start and we don't like it, then we'll do something else. So, hello, whoever is on. Thank you for getting on. I can't see. I'm so far away from my screen, and I'm also blind. So, it's hard for me to see who's on. But if you're just now getting on, you weren't on earlier. Need to mix that up. We are headed home from Atlanta. Okay, so here's the colors. Not that bright red, but the brown and the burgundy. And I'm going to take this big brush right here, and just stick it in the brown, stick it in the burgundy, and I'm going to start on this inside lip right here. We're not going to put it in the bottom. I'm just going to do it on this inside lip, because if I go back and crackle this, this is the color that will show through. And I want it to be kind of a varied color and not just one color. Plus I'm picking up a little gross stuff off the edge. So I don't really have any like exciting news or anything. host. We have a different couple that host or a different person that hosts each camp out. And it's kind of up to them to sort of set the schedule for what we're going to do. Can y'all see this color now? Maybe a little too pinkish. So I'm going to go back and just put it more brown. So it's up to the host to kind of make the plans for when we go out to eat or when we're going to eat at the campsite and do like a covered dish. And so sometimes some of the people that host want to do a craft for the women. Not that we're trying to keep men away from doing it. It's just so far we haven't found any men who really want to do the craft. Rodney would probably be the one closest to wanting to do it. But anyway, so I had been asked if the host on any given month wanted to do a craft, would I be willing to kind of spearhead that? And I said yes. So we're going to do the reverse transfers, but I think that may not be, that was supposed to be coming up, and I think now the person that's hosting, there's another camp out after that the person wants to do that for. So now I got to come up with a craft, and there's no real holiday to settle it with. And of course, y'all know I'm in the Christmas mood right now, doing all this Christmas in July stuff. So I would be perfectly fine with a Christmas craft, but I don't know how the ladies will feel about it. So we might do something fallish. That might be a better thing. Y'all, when I went to Hobby Lobby today, they were in Atlanta, the one we went to. They had, I guess, all of their fall stuff out, and then they were putting Christmas stuff out. I heard some people saying, I cannot believe that they were putting Christmas stuff out already. This is ridiculous. And I thought, well, clearly you're not a crafter then, or you would understand that you can't wait until the month of to do crafts, because people want to be able to utilize what they make during the season. So you really have to start earlier in the year, even though to a lot of people it's too soon. I love it. It's never too soon. If they left it up year round, that would be fine. I know there's people who say, we haven't even gotten through summer yet. It's true. If all you're doing is going to get stuff to decorate with, then I can see that, it might be too early for you. But for those of us who craft, especially people who, Rodney, you have to tell me when there's a bump coming. Especially people who sell their crafts, they got to have time to be able to make them and then sell them. So that's why we have to start early. I think it was in Cracker Barrel the other day. Somewhere I saw a tree already set up. Don't be a Scrooge and say it's too early. I'm sure somebody's making a comment on there I need to read. Let me sit this down for a minute and see if anybody say anything I need to read. Hey, Susie Robinson, how are you? Chandra, hello. Dawn Walker had knee surgery replacement. Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, Susie Craig. I didn't know. Did you know Dawn was going to have knee replacement?
I don't think I did.
I wonder if that just kind of came up all of a sudden. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I got to get down inside this tray right here. And if Rodney will warn me about bumps, it'll help. But I'm trying not to spill this paint over into the white part, so I have to go back and repaint it white. told you with watercolor, I think, personally, that the biggest brush you can possibly use is better off you are. Number one, it saves time. But number two, I think it's good practice just to get used to using something that's larger and save the smaller brushes for detail. This is definitely going to need 2 coats to get the exact color I want to show through whenever I go back and crackle this. I'm not going to do that during this live because, like I said, I can't hook up my heat tool. Okay, so now you kind of see what we're going for. Let me pour out a little bit more paint. I don't know what the weather's like where y'all are. I know it's been really, really hot in Arizona. But I think, personally, where we've been in the past few days, it's been unseasonably cool.
We also have to spend a lot of time actually outside, too.
It's true, but when we have been outside, it hasn't been like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, like it is sometimes this time of year. Now, for us in Tennessee, August is usually the absolute worst. But we also have to deal with humidity too, and a lot of places don't have to deal with the humidity, so that I think the humidity is what makes it worse. I'm kind of liking mixing these colors, y'all. This is burnt umber and what did I say? Burnt umber and cranberry wine. Y'all, if you haven't been to Bed Bath & Beyond yet, if there's one near you and it's still open, you need to go. They have some fabulous deals. I went before we left town and got a few things at mine, like 80% off, 90% off.
How much stuff was left in the store?
There was a decent amount, especially in the kitchen section. I was trying to find a particular chair they had for outdoors, and they didn't have those. I probably could have gotten it online. But I just took my cart and went around the store to see, and I got some sheets for a really, really good price. King size, I got a set of king and a set of queen. I think one set was 23 and one set was 21 maybe. And it had, you know, the fitted sheet, the flat sheet, and 2 pillow shams. And then the other night, I was looking on Bed Bath & Beyond online, and there was a what's it called, Ronnie? A canopy kind of thing?
They call it a pergola.
Yeah, a pergola. A big size pergola.
But it was made out of plastic.
With curtains to hang down. And you couldn't get it in the store, but you could get it online, and it was $29.99, was it?
$49 plus shipping.
$49, but then the shipping was $5 or something. Rodney thought the shipping was going to be ridiculous, and it wasn't. So they're shipping it to our house. Now, it's not the kind of thing we can take camping and set up and down, but it'll be great to set it up if we can find a flat enough place in our yard to be able to sit outside and eat, and for the kids to play in and not be, you know, out in the bright sun all the time. We couldn't pass it up. So I know some of the stores are already totally closed, but most of the ones that I've seen, you know, say going out of business sale, and you know, might still have some things in there. So I hate to see that store go. There were a couple of Christmases that I spent a lot of Christmas money buying gifts for other people at Bed Bath & Beyond, because you could get such a variety. I think Amazon is sort of putting a lot of companies out of business. And I will admit that I love being able to sit in the comfort of my own home and shop online. Love it.
We probably will have a few Amazon packages at home when we get back.
Yeah, we probably will. Y'all, I think Meta came out with their new whatever thing like Twitter today. And I saw some people that I know saying they linked it to their Facebook account. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do it at least until all the kinks are worked out and they let us know. Where's your phone so I can read comments? They let us know that it's safe to do so, because I have a feeling, I heard some complaints already this morning from some people who said that the censorship was already going to be ridiculous. Having seen Debbie Harris, Susie Robinson, two other people are watching. Debbie Harris having items delivered is wonderful for me too. Susan Robinson, ours is still open, but I haven't been in there. You should. Susan says, 81 here today, very hot for us here in the mountains. Where are you in Tennessee, eastern or western? We are in eastern Tennessee.
Almost.
No, not eastern.
We're still in Alabama.
Yeah, we're, no,
and
Georgia, yeah.
But we'll be in southeast Tennessee in about 30 minutes.
That is right. Okay, I'm going to get one more coat on here, and then we're going to decoupage this paper on here. Of course, I can't do the resin in the car, so that will have to be done later. There's some business in there. May try to get on tonight if we get everything unpacked like we need to and clothes washed. And then also I'm going at some point in the next day or two to a couple of places to pick up some pallets, some free pallets, because one of the projects we're going to do while we're house sitting involves making pallet Christmas trees. I made some last year and I loved them, and I got lots and lots of compliments on them. So I'm going to show y'all how I do that. So if you have access to get pallets, and it doesn't matter what size, you can make them any size, get your hands on some. Also, if you drink canned drinks, or you know of somebody that does, ask them to start saving you their tops.
Pop tops.
Huh?
Pop tops.
Yeah, the pop tops. Yeah. Number one, you can always give them to me, because we collect those with our camping group, and give them to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Somehow they are able to use those pop tops to get something for the Children's Hospital. I've never really understood how it is they use them. So anyway, if you start collecting something like that, let me know. But on the pallet trees that we're going to make, we use the pop tops as ornament holders. So it works out nicely, because that's a free ornament holder for your tree. So try to look for pallets, canned pop tops, and I just went over on the white right there. Also lace. Bigger pieces of lace are better, but you can use smaller pieces of lace. And then if you start seeing some mini-size Christmas ornaments, like at the Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, I know the Dollar Tree usually has them.
They don't have to be mini size. grounds for that, do they?
They don't have to be. I think they look better.
No big fat round ones.
Yeah, I think they look better if they're the mini size on those trees, but he's right, they don't absolutely have to be. But I know that every year in Michael's, I see packages, and the other day when I was in Hobby Lobby for the project that I was going to do today, and couldn't end up doing it because I didn't have any rice paper that was big enough to fit, so I'm going to have to switch that around. But I had bought that, I was looking for some mini ornaments that were fairly flat that I could put magnets on the back of them to use on this metal tree, Christmas tree that we're going to redo. And when I bought it, it already had 3 really small, flat, cute ornaments on it, but I want a bunch more. So I went in Hobby Lobby yesterday or day before, and I thought, you know, I know they've got some Christmas stuff out, but they're probably not going to have, you know, little ornaments out that I can use, but you know, it's not going to hurt to try. And I went in there, and they had some small ornaments, and so I picked them up. They come in like packages, though, you know, 5 or 6. So, and I don't need multiples, but I could always, you know, send Happy Mail to some of y'all and help you with that. But then I walked over to this other section, which was over in Hobby Lobby by where the area by where they have the different glues, and it's kind of in the center aisle. And this lady was setting up some Christmas things that at first I thought were just Christmas stickers. And when I looked on them, they're like flat paper ornaments that are perfect for these magnets that I'm talking about using. See how yummy this color is? It's really rich. And if I just, and because this is gonna eventually be crackled, I'm not gonna worry about how brown it is or isn't, because it's gonna be crackled and that's gonna come through. This is the color, but I love this. I love the 2 colors of this mixed. So anyway, I put back the first packages that I had gotten of the ornaments, and then I picked up several packages of those little flat paper ornaments. I got some Santas. I got some, I think I got some candy canes. I'm pretty sure I got a little package of reindeer that had little red noses on them. Gingerbread men, I think. Snowflakes. Santa heads. Just real cute. They're only about that big. And then I found some real teeny tiny round magnets that I'm just going to glue on the back of them. And then they will stick to this metal tray. This metal Christmas tree that I found at a consignment of the St. Vincent de Paul
It's made out of corrugated roof tin.
Huh?
It's made out of corrugated roof
tin. If y'all are ever in an area where you see St. Vincent de Paul's, go. I think it was Debbie Rigg, but it might have been somebody else that one time said that St. Vincent de Paul's was a great thrift store to go to. And one trip, Kimberly Wold and I were on, so it must have been when we were in Oklahoma. I'm not sure if it was Oklahoma or Kansas City, maybe. We found a St. Vincent de Paul and went in and found lots of stuff. Now, I mentioned the other night that we had been to the one that we went to the other day, and that the only thing I didn't like about and this was not true of the clothing area, but it was true of the home goods area, everything was thrown on there. There was no attempt to try to make things, you know, be in some semblance of order. And so you literally had to kind of dig through to find anything, and I don't love that. But they had a ton of stuff. And most of their prices were, I thought, very reasonable. have them. But if you're ever in a town that you find out they have one, I would encourage you to go. Sometimes these days I go in Goodwills and they hardly have anything. And then sometimes I go in and they have a lot. So anytime I see, or Rodney sees, any kind of thrift store of any kind, we usually try to hit it when we're traveling. It doesn't just have to be a Goodwill.
The car kind of pulls that way automatically.
Yeah, Rodney's, he gets me a lot of times, but I'm finally not falling for it as much anymore. He'll say, we'll be in a rental car especially, and he'll go, oh, this car, something's wrong with this car, it's pulling to the right. Of course, I'm thinking, oh great, now we have car trouble. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, it's pulling to the right. Why is it pulling to the right? And then he'll start smiling or whatever, and I'll look up there. Used to, it was a Dollar Tree. Anytime there was a Dollar Tree, he said the car was pulling. He doesn't say that as much anymore for Dollar Trees, but he sure does if he sees a Goodwill. Oh, the car's pulling to the right.
Like a sign that says, largest craft store in the world, or antique mall in the world.
And he'll go, oh, the car. So now he's going to have to come up with something different because I picked up on his little trick he's doing. Okay, we've got that all covered. You guys, where's your phone? Let me check comments, please, sir. And we're going to do this rice paper. Fine, thank you, ma'am. Ours is still up. Okay, let's see. Whoops. Hey, Lisa LaBelle, how are you, sister? If you wait for Facebook to get the kinks out, you will never change. That is the truth. That is the truth. Because they're changing all the time. But listen, you guys, watch it right here, slow down. Anytime anything like that comes out new, there's going to be lots of bugs to work out. They think they've got it all the time, and then you find out they don't.
There's something going on. People are backing up on the interstate.
Why are they backing up? Are they trying to get to an exit?
Well, if they were close enough to an exit, they don't want. They probably saw on their map that they have a big back up here, so they don't want to get stuck in it.
Anyway, the whole censorship thing, you know, and I don't want to talk about politics and all that crap, but this whole censorship thing is just really, you know, messing with people's First Amendment rights. And somebody this morning on TV said that they had signed up for that new platform, and that when they got through putting their information about themselves or something on there, they got a warning that there were certain things they would not be able to talk about. You know, I don't go for that. Okay, so let me set this up here in the sun. It won't bother Rodney too much, so it can dry. And let me show you, not Audrey, Joan Collins.
Coming over your head.
Okay,
Got her.
here we go with Joan. This is what we ended up doing. Okay, can y'all see her? So I added her necklace. This is the trim that I thinned down and just put all the way around all the sides. See, we made that necklace out of some chains. This little drop part was already one piece. These pieces were pieces hanging off of another earring that I just broke off. Then I don't know how well you can see it, but at the top up here, I have a piece of Totally Dazzled. Is that all? Oh, and then I just added some extra red paint to her lips. So I think that Audrey is finally, not Audrey, Joan Collins is finally done, and I love her. Okay, can you set that back for me? Please, sir. Okay. Now we're going to take our precious little deer here
And the traffic stopped.
And we are set. Okay. I don't think I have my water pan with me. Let me check in my bag right here and see if I've got it. If not, we'll just use the water that I have in a paintbrush. I did have my water pan. I think it's still got water in it. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Okay, y'all. MacGyver's got to get some water in here for me. That's always a trick. If y'all got one of these little pens, so what do? You squeeze it closed first, and then put it down in the water.
Squeeze as much air out as you can.
Squeeze
Stick
as
it
much
down in
air
the
out as
water
you can.
And let it go, and it'll suck stuff in.
So I'll get.
I think it slipped out, but you can do it. Oh, there you go. Trying to be a mess.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so this is a water pen. And the reason I'm going to use the water pen is I want these edges around the paper to not be totally smooth. So I'm going to start out first taking off just the outside border, okay? And I'll show you how I'm going to do it. All right, so I'm going to put some water down in here, and I'm just going to go right up the side here, dropping water in this white edge, because I want to get that off and see first how well it's going to fit on the tray before I decide if I need to take some more off. It's kind of bent right here where I'm not taking as good a care of it as I should have. I was so excited when I found these. I actually found 2 of them, so I ordered both of them. So I think somebody said they were discontinued, but I'm not positive. Okay, so now you can see I'm just tearing. What?
Are these from the same company that you can print your own stuff?
No, this is from Decoupage Point. Now, Digital Deco Designs, who I love, and I will be doing some Christmas stuff with her prints. You can either let her print them and send them to you, or you can join her membership where you pay just a little bit per month. I don't remember how much it is, but it's hardly anything. And then you can print them yourselves. She also sells just plain rice paper. I think she sells 2 different kinds, in case you want to order the rice paper plain from her and then print them yourself.
If you print them yourself, you can print as many of anything as you want.
And they'll always be in your library, so you download them to your computer, you've got them forever. And what was I saying?
Before I started
anyway, that's the way I do it, because that way I have access to all the ones she does, and I can print it as much as I want to. What I was saying was you can order just plain rice paper from her. I think she has 2 different kinds, Japanese and something else. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you the difference in Catherine could, but I can't. But I get mine from Amazon. I just order it in packs from Amazon, and then I print them myself.
When you print your own,
You'll see how that just kind of almost decals that edge. What, Ronnie?
when you print your own from your computer, can you change the size of it? So if you need something smaller or larger?
Probably. I think you can just do that under your print settings. You can tell it. I would always view it first to make sure that you like the way it looks.
That would be one advantage of doing that as opposed to ordering your piece already printed, because you can get it the size you want.
Right. And some of her things she does in varying sizes. So again, if you saw something that she had on there and you didn't want it that big, you can always, if she doesn't have it listed in another size, you can always contact Catherine and ask her if she could print it for you small, and I feel like she she could with no problem. She's really, really sweet and very talented and coming out with new stuff all the time. So that's Digital Deco Designs, DDD. Okay, so we've got 2 of the edges off. Going pretty fast.
Here's some tires from my truck lease.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all should see
We
those
just passed
tires.
the truck carrying 5 tires. Trailer truck with 5 tires in there. Since they cover from all the way from one side of the lane to the other, probably about 14 feet tall.
Yeah. Y'all need some tires you want me to pull
Something
over
like
and
that would look good on
get
the
you
truck.
some? I'm sure our granddaughter's boyfriend would love to have some of those for his
I'll
truck.
have some of those.
He's modded up about everything else. So, here's a question for the 3 of you all that are on here. What is your favorite Christmas song?
Christmas song.
Well, we'll let Rodney participate too. I'm going to go last because I want to see what y'all say. Hold on. Almost through this. And I can read.
Favorite Christmas song? I don't know about that. I don't think so.
I don't think it needs to be Mama Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Okay, let's see. Oh, somebody said, Mary, did you know? Love that song,
That's a
Missy.
really good one.
Woo, yes.
I'm just amazed when I hear it and think through the words of that. How the guy put it together, and from that point of view, it's really good.
And we,
What's the guy's name?
hold on.
The Gaithers.
He's with the Gaither band, or he used to be. Kimberly, we are heading from Atlanta home. We're close to Chattanooga.
Traffic jam.
Hard to hear Rodney, Kimberly says. I tried to tell him that. Okay, so thank you about the Joan Project, Kimberly. Thank you. You're in low power mode now. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, so Mary, did you know? I see on here. I don't see any other people. Rodney, what would you say is your favorite Christmas song?
I mean, it's not exactly Christmas, but when I think about the ones that each year at some point I hear, the Hallelujah chorus just can't quite beat that. It's not really a Christmas song like you hear on the radio a lot, but
Right.
it's really good.
It is. The Hallelujah chorus is fabulous. My favorite of all time Christmas song has always been Oh Holy Night. Probably always will be. I do love Mary Did You Know? Because the words are very profound. I love all the traditional ones. You know, Oh Little Town of Bethlehem and things like that. I love all the traditional Christmas music more than I love most of the newer songs, with the exception of Mary Did You Know? But Oh Holy Night has always been my favorite. Alright, let's lay this on our tray. Let me see if there's any more comments I need to read. Okay. Let's get our tray back down out of the windshield. It's dried nicely. And lay it in here. And see where we are. We are too big for show. So, this whole little gold outside deal is not going to fit down in here.
So get rid of it.
So, I'm trying to figure out I think I need to make it kind of even on both sides, I guess. And I don't necessarily want all those grapes at the top. I don't mind if they go away. So let's see. We can lay it down in here to kind of get an idea of where we want to tear it next. It's not going to hurt to leave a little of that gold in here.
I don't know what made me think of it, but one question you could ask folks is...
You need to talk louder.
One thing you can ask people is, what is a pet peeve? Something that just irritates you a little bit. Did I hear that?
He said to ask, what is your pet peeve? Something that irritates you a little bit. Of course, you know the first thing everybody's going to say is fingernails on the chalkboard.
Doesn't bother me.
Pet peeve. I have a lot of them.
I don't hear a lot of them. I'm not trying to start a complaint thing, but
Well, I have a lot of them anyway. You
had a
asked.
particular pet peeve. It'd be interesting to know what they are.
Okay, I took my fingernail and just kind of went around where I think I want it. So now I can go back. You can see the little lines, I think. Now I can go back with my water pen and I can turn it upside down on the white side and see where that is so that I can then hopefully tear it right on that line. You want me to see if somebody put pet peeve? Maybe a pet peeve is somebody asking about your pet peeve.
Could be.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas Sinatra version, Kimberly said. I love that too. Little Drummer Boy is Ron's number 2. My daddy loved Little Drummer Boy. Debbie Harris, rudeness. That's her pet peeve. Ron loves Blue Christmas Elvis. When somebody choose food with her mouth open. Ooh, girl, I'm with you. Hey, Judy Mullins.
You know what one of mine is? When you get a nice soft towel to dry off with, and it's soft and smooth, and you try to dry off, and water won't even stick to it. Water, it's just like, for some reason, they've got them treated with something, or maybe something kind of like a microfiber cloth.
Yeah.
It's just, you rub a towel and you're still wet.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Somebody's picked the wrong material for the towel.
Definitely chewing with the mouth open is a pet peeve.
Yep.
Another pet peeve I have is when people leave their grocery carts out in the driveway.
In the parking lot.
Instead of, to me, I'm sorry, but that's the ultimate in lazy. When you can't even take your cart back up or over to the little cart area
I heard
and put
somebody
your cart
comment
up.
on that
I
one
hate
day,
that.
and they said that they didn't want to take jobs away from people in
Yeah,
the store.
whatever.
That go out there and pile all the carts up.
Don't agree with that at all. Okay, y'all, I'm tearing right along this line. I'm putting my water pen there and just going right along the edge and letting it feather out.
The bad thing about you doing that, Lisa, that's putting people that make scissors, you're putting them out of a job.
Okay, here you go with your pet peeves now. I don't want to
It's
hear
like the
your pet peeves now.
like the grocery carts.
Let me tell you something. If I had to worry about people with jobs after what you went through at the airport that day with that lady, I'm not going to worry about putting people on the job. Y'all, do y'all remember, did you tell that story on live?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. When you went to pay for your food.
Oh,
That you had to get yourself. Y'all listen to this story. I think we've told it, but
It's
we'll tell
not,
it
it's
again.
not a big story, but basically.
It is a big story.
I did, with everything being self-service now, I picked out my own food, my snack and my drink.
Like a little kiosk kind of place.
Kiosk, walk down there to the little thing, I'll put my own card in, and my own, scan my own stuff, and then when I got ready, they spun the little thing around and said, we'd appreciate your tip, and it got 3 choices of 20, 22, and 24% for tip. and I did all the work. So I thought, well, I felt bad about not doing anything.
But she
So-
asked you. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
she asked. She said, "Would you?"
She said,
would you? We'd appreciate a tip or something, and spun it around there.
and she didn't do one thing. She was just standing there.
So I thought, well, I'll give her $1. So I hit the one for other, and hit one, and spun it back around, and it went on. And then when I looked at my receipt later on, I'd given her a 1 cent tip because apparently to do $1, you had to put 100. So
That's
anyway,
what she gets for asking.
so I didn't feel too bad about that tip. Anyway,
If you're going to do all the work yourself, then people do not need a tip. I'm sorry.
they should not call it a tip or gratuity. They need to call it a handout.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're tearing
Let me
it
see
down.
what other people are saying. Here's your phone. I think I got this. May not have cut the bottom. I guess you. Well deserved, Debbie said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1 cent tip.
Not using a blinker, not a mind reader, plus it's dangerous. Absolutely. Kimberly said whistling. Y'all, who was it that was telling me? I think it's my friend Jody Bloodgood. It may not be her, so Jody, if you're on here and it's not you, don't get mad. But somebody said they can't stand it when they're with a friend who has nail tips on, and they take their nail tips and they do this on the window. Or they're like trying to show you something. They go right over there and they tap on the window with their fingernail. You know, right there. That thing right there. She said, it makes me so mad that people feel like they have to tap, 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 tap.
Now, the person who said that whistling aggravates them, are you a good whistler? Or are you... I mean, I'm sure there's situations where people whistling would be aggravating, but somebody that really whistles well, I love to hear them whistle. But you don't hear many people these days that whistle like bird songs or whistle
While you work.
really musically.
See, I can't.
But I know that was something we grew up learning how to whistle different ways and everything. And I think whistling at the table was not allowed. My parents didn't like that, especially with a mouthful of food. That would
Yeah, I don't think that would go too well. Y'all, I'm just tearing. I laid it back in there, and it's still a little bit high in some places. So I'm just going back and tearing out a little bit more, and then I'm going to be ready to put it down in the tray. Yeah, why don't you, while you're stopped, see who said that
Oh,
about
I thought
whistling?
you.
I don't
thought
remember
You were
who it
gonna ask
was.
if I'd whistle for you.
Yeah, whistle for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes Rodney and I try to whistle together, and we get so tickled we can't.
Yes, I
We try to
remember
whistle in
a long
harmony.
time ago, we used to do that. We would pick a song, we'd both try to whistle it as we drove along, and then we'd get tickled. And it's really hard to whistle when you're laughing. So we used to do that a lot. And it didn't bother anybody else because nobody else was in the car.
That's right.
Now, I can't check notes because I'm driving.
Well, really not.
Yes, I am really so. This is a most dangerous time when you're driving.
That's what Kimberly
18
said.
miles an hour.
Don't whistle.
Bumper to bumper. Is that Kimberly said that? She doesn't like whistling.
No, I don't think she was the one that said she was like whistling. Maybe. Is that you, Kimberly? Oh, you, sister.
Maybe she's talking about when guys whistle at her going down the street.
That's probably
That
it.
probably happens a lot.
Whistling. Yeah, it was Kimberly.
Good to know. I'll be careful not to
Missy
whistle.
says when you're hauling a horse trailer with horses in it and people pull in front of you and then hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Kimberly said not a good whistler.
Same.
Debbie says Dolly Parton wrote 9 to 5 on her nails. She did? On her nails? Working 9 to 5. Are you saying she wrote the words to that song on her nails? How do you do that?
I remember hearing that in an interview. I don't remember if she wrote the words or if she did it tapping her note and set the cadence of the song and everything. But I do remember something about that was very clever when she came up with it, kind of on the fly, so to speak. Entering the great state of Tennessee.
Whoop, whoop.
And I need to get to 24.
Y'all, the place where we stayed last night was the place that I told y'all about a few weeks ago where we stayed, that I had a migraine. And Rodney came back to pick me up after he'd been to a downtown hotel working. And that man came out from inside and said, back in the day,
I bet you had the men.
I bet
hanging
you
all
had
over
the men hanging all over you. And then he says, back in the day, I bet you were pretty, blah, 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 blah.
But we didn't see him anywhere.
So, we stayed in back in the day. That's what I'm going to start calling that place now, is back in the day. We're going to stay in the back in the day hotel.
Back in the day.
Okay, y'all, look. Isn't that so cute? And it's really going to be neat when we put the berries and the crackle, but the what are these called? Holly leaves. Okay, so let's now. I still didn't get that part totally torn off. What is happening? I'm scared I'm gonna tear it too much, so I'm trying to be careful, but then it's not tearing enough. I don't want it up on the sides.
Are you on a tear?
What about when people chew gum and smack it? Does that bother you? I tell you what bothers my daughter. I used to love to chew ice, which I think is supposed to be a sign that like you're missing iron or something. And I have always been iron deficient. But I would chew ice all the time. I don't do it anymore because my teeth are so bad. It drove her up a wall. She would go, Mom, please, I cannot. So I could never crunch ice around her. Okay, where's my big, here, I'm going to use Deb's Design Diary DIY Liquid Patina. This says you can use it as a sealer or top coat. I think I've told y'all that before, but I like it as my decoupage medium, and the reason I do is because it's thin. And on rice paper and napkins, I prefer something thin. Now, if you're going to be using scrapbook paper or heavier duty paper, then Mod Podge is fine. But to me, for most applications that I do with decoupage, Mod Podge is way too thick. And I'm going to start trying to remember to keep Vaseline with me again to put it around the top as it gets so dried up. And y'all can probably tell. Let me take my scissors around the edge that I don't have muscles. Kimberly Walt, when are y'all coming to Tennessee? I'm ready for you to come out here. And we never have planned that trip we were going to plan. I'd say loud chewing drives me crazy. Gum, food, all of it. My grandmother used to snap, what did it say? Smack her gum out loud. Y'all, I keep thinking I'm going to get it. I'm so weak, evidently.
Pretty good.
MacGyver, he's got the muscles. Okay, now I'm only going to do a section at a time because we got to get this wrinkle out of the middle where I've had it down in my container that I keep this stuff in. So I want to be able just to do half of it at a time. I'm just going to put a good coat, but a thin coat. Doesn't matter if it goes up on the edge a little bit, to the sides, because it's going to dry clear. But I'll make sure I get enough to hold it down. And then I've got a baggie here that I'm going to put over my hand, and that will help smooth it down and smooth out the wrinkles. Y'all know probably, if you've been following me any length of time, that I really like using the iron method. where we would put like, and this is a good time when you can use Mod Podge. If I was going to Mod Podge this on, if that's all I had with me, I would put a coat of Mod Podge down on the surface once it was painted, and then I would let that Mod Podge dry, or I'd use a heat tool and go on and dry it. Then I would lay this paper down over it, position it like I want it, cover this with a piece of parchment paper. Make sure I got it pulled up right. And then iron over it. And when you do that, it reactivates the Mod Podge, and it will be a lot smoother. See, I still have too much down here. But you know what? It's going to have some berries and such down there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I just did it on half, and I've covered my hand now with this baggie, and I'm pushing it down flat
Can't see the baggie.
and getting the wrinkles out as I go. It's working just fine.
Anyway, that Ross paper is a
You
little
know
tougher
what?
than
It's
regular
crooked.
paper. If you need to
Now that I've
lift
done
it
that.
back up, I was going to say you can lift it back up if you don't wait too late. And adjustment.
I will also cover it with the liquid patina too. I'm going to lay it up there and make sure I got it where I want it.
Pretty good. You got it?
I think. Let me see. This is not so easy to do in the car.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So, I'm going to go back over this now.
Have you already glued underneath that fold area?
It's kind of right on the line. This is still crooked. Okay. Perhaps I should add a little more liquid patina down here. I want to come to Tennessee to getting ready to head to Montana. Oh, you going to see your mom? That'll be fun. You go see Lori while you're there? I think she's there now, isn't she? Or is she back in Florida? Yeah, that's the other good thing about using something like this. If I had used Mod Podge, I wouldn't have been able to pull it back up without tearing the paper. Might be able to with rice paper. I definitely would not be able to with napkin. It would tear it all to pieces.
Vein right
Okay, let me smooth this out, pushing the wrinkles out and up as I go. And this is also going to really help take that middle fold out. Yeah, see, I still have some of this. What I'm going to do is take a little bit of water right here, put right in this groove, and see if I can tear that excess paper off. Since I haven't laid this down flat yet, this top part, and I'll be able to still tear some of that. There we go. Perfect. Now, if y'all don't have teenagers around, you probably don't hear stuff like this, but our teenage granddaughters, they have a whole different language, y'all. They'll make a comment about something somebody does that is like a portion of a real word, but they're not using it in the same way that you and I would use it.
It's like years ago when the word rad was used like for radical.
Right.
Say rad.
Well, now, one of my granddaughters, if you give her something, or you tell her what you're gonna, just whatever. Instead of saying perfect, she says perf. perfect. And I told her, I said, you know, that almost doesn't sound good. And then she just, you know, sort of rolls her eyes like, whatever. But I literally have told both of them. I told them during the pandemic when they were home doing school from home, and they would come up with all these terms, and I'm like, what does that even, like, what, how are y'all using that word? That's not even what that word means. You know, and they just look at you and laugh like, oh, you just got to catch up with the times. We don't talk like that anymore. And I literally have told them several times, y'all are going to have to create a dictionary and give and know what it is that you're saying. And they just look at each other and kind of roll their eyes and laugh like, oh, she's so old-fashioned. But I don't understand a lot of what they're talking about these days. But I did kind of warn them. I wasn't sure perf was the best use of that word. But what do I know? Come on. Here. Get my little baggie back on my hand and push from the middle and up. It's gonna be perf.
Perfect. Well, this traffic is sped up to 20.
Yeah, we're going 20 now, y'all. And see, that took that wrinkle right out of the middle. Love it. Kind of get that little wrinkle right there. All right, let me hold it up and show you. Now from the side, I can see some little bubble wrinkles. Put this in this hand.
They can see the back of your piece of thing.
Seeing little wrinkles right here. Trying to push them out. For the most part, probably do is take in the X-Acto knife when I get home, since that's still going overlapping a little bit, and try to tear that off a bit. But now what I'm going to do is just put another coat on top of this Deb's DIY to seal it. Because if I end up crackling this part of it, it would be good to have a sealer on it anyway. I need to check with Mara or somebody about that, because I'm not totally sure if you crackle over paper like this, if the crackles will even show. And I hate to waste product if the crackle's not even going to show up, because I won't be putting a top coat on this paper. So I don't. Does anybody else know if you're just crackling like over a rice paper like this, and you're not going to have a color like over this dark, I will put white, and then or I'll put beige, and then of course I'll go back and use my stain on it, just because I don't like stark white stuff, and this definitely is on a stark white background. But I don't, and that way the crackle will really show up. But I don't know if I even put crackle on this rice paper, if it's gonna.
Is the crackle clear? If it's not clear, it's gonna cover it up. If it is clear, then you see through it. You see the same thing where it's not cracked. So I don't know if it gains you anything. Most of the crackle I've seen is on the contrasting colors.
Right. The two items themselves, the two parts of it, are clear when you put them on. But I think what I'm talking about trying to accomplish is to get this paper then to look like it was older, kind of wrinkled to begin with. Not wrinkled, but crackled. But I I don't know if that will work or not.
I would try it on something else. Scrap piece.
Okay, so now we have all of that done. And what I'm gonna do probably next time Ronnie and I stop is get the step one of the crackle out and go on and crackle the inside and outside edges. And then I can set it up in the window up here and let it dry, since I can't use my heat tool. And then I will put the second part on. Maybe by the time I get home this evening, then it'll be dry and we can put the white on it and see where the crackle really shows through. Let's see comments. Hey, Texas Treasure Chest, welcome, welcome. You need a battery operated iron. That's your cue, MacGyver Rodney, Debbie Harris says.
We got a,
Hey, Grace.
got an iron we can use. It's not an iron you're missing, it's the heat gun.
Right, it's the heat tool to dry it with.
Do that. They got those too.
Debbie Harris said, I like to crack my gum. It embarrassed my children. You could use chapstick. Good idea, Kimberly, on the edge. That's a great idea. Miss Lori, she's back in Florida. Ann Bracco's there this week. Before we get there, so bummed. Oh, dadgum. My mom turns 80 on July 28th. My Star Zeroth high school reunion is the same weekend. Getting old. Hey, Grammy's crafting craziness. How you doing, sister? Have to go. My helper is here. Have a great day. You too, Debbie. Thank you. I think this reindeer is adorable, Kimberly. I loved it. We are on our way home from the Atlanta area back to Nashville. Came out very nice. Thank you, Grace. Well, we're not through yet. You know, we've got to, I got to crackle it. And then, Ronnie, can you reach this greenery down here that I put on the floor? Let me show y'all the piece of greenery I got at Hobby Lobby. So I got these, and I think what I'm gonna do is cut the holly leaves off and maybe put some, like there's already holly leaves here, so I may put some in both of these corners, and then I may try to take some of the berries and put up here where the grapes are. And then when I get home, I've got some little pine like greenery that I can put. He's got some hanging off, let me show you, hanging off his horns. So I could put some little greenery pieces on there with the little red berries in the center. So then it'll be crackled. We'll have the berries and the greenery and the holly leaves on it. And then I'll find out about crackling the rice paper. And then we will resin it and make a tray. So my goal will be to do the 1 and 2 steps of the PintArt Fine Art Crackle as we're headed home and get that to go on and happen. Then put a coat of white over it so that you'll see this color right here that we mixed, burnt umber and cranberry wine. I just sort of dipped my brush in the burnt umber and the cranberry wine, just brushed them on there, and then if I thought it needed a little more brown, I added more brown or more cranberry wine or whatever. I just thought it would look better than just doing it brown like he is. I could have done that, but this way it has brown and kind of red to pick up on the berries too. I might diamond dust his nose. But I'm not sure how the diamond dust would do under resin. It might not really do any good to diamond dust it. Yeah. So, okay, you guys, I'm going to trim it up with an X-Acto knife too, because that edge is still kind of bothering me. But that's it. Let me show you Joan one more time. Can you reach it?
Joan may not be back there anymore. She took a,
Joan, you better be back there, girl.
I think she took a trip. Yeah, I think she's gone.
Joan.
I think Joan slid to the back a while ago.
Okay, well, we'll have to do that later. So, let me lift this off here so I can see y'all. Sorry. I am, oh, what is she doing? Canning spaghetti sauce today with tomatoes from my garden. Girl, that sounds good. So domestic. The diamond dust will not show at all under the resin. I didn't think it would. But you never know. It's not going to hurt to be under there. Okay, y'all. So I'll check back with you later. I'm pretty sure I'll be on later tonight to try to finish it up. So watch your telegrams. And I love you. Go out and bless someone and be blessed. Bye.